lined up.
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
They're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's still start chopper. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Good evening and welcome to the LSRL GT3 live from Okayama in Japan. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined once again in the booth by Mr. Michael David here this evening. I hope everybody is having a fabulous time. But we are here at Okayama since 1990 to the present day. 3.73 kilometers, 2.3 miles, 13 turns, and an official track record of a 1:14.023 by Michael Schumacher in the Benetton B194 in 1994. Now, Michael's got some interesting information about this track record, so I'm going to bring Michael in to the booth. Michael, good evening. How are you, sir?
James, I'm great. Glad to be back. How are you doing?
I'm all good, buddy. I'm all good, to be fair. I've got to change something at the moment because something is not correct. Bear with us 2 seconds, guys. Why we change... There we go. That's correct. We're in the LSRL GT3. I'm all right, mate. I'm not too bad at all, to be fair. Give us this information then, because we were talking off broadcast about the track records here at Okayama. What's the situation with the track record from Okayama?
Yeah, so officially, Michael Schumacher does hold that track record of 1:14.023. Unofficially, though, it's actually Ayrton Senna. He has a track record of 1 minute 10 seconds .2 set in the qualifying session before that race where Michael Schumacher, the 94 Pacific Grand Prix, where Michael Schumacher has the current lap record. But it's interesting because that was actually the race right before Imola the following week where Ayrton Senna actually passed away.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much. Yeah. Good evening, Hydra. I hope you're well. Rintella as well. Much appreciated for jumping in here this evening, and we will bring you up the current championship standings. Elliot Borg is in first on 64 points, with Joseph Carnes in second on 60. Jay Smart in third on 55. Nathan Graham on 54. Peter Miller on 43, with Steve Baker on 38, tied with Daniel Pereira. Dylan Gonez on 37. Ryan O'Connor on 34, tied with Jonathan Dickerman, who is not here currently at the moment. Beyond that, we've got James Rep in 11th, Mason Sagar 12th, Ben Barnes 13th, Sean Atkins 14th, Nathan Heffley 15th, John Silver 16th, Tamas Boniatti 17th, Joey Fernandez is in 18th place. Brandon Birmingham in 19th, Jared Linden 20th, and Brandon Fornell 21st. Mikhail Tuckin in 22nd, and Alexander Abidon, who is just joined the session here on in 23rd place. Now, in the team standings, we have Smar Gonasborg Racing leading the way on 133, LMA on 88. JBJ on 84, Slowly Driving By You on 61, Worst Pace Scenario on 58, for Part-Time Pros on 55, JJ Racing 45 with Black Gold Racing on 38 points. So there we go. That is the current standings as we've just gone into qualifying here this evening. 10 minutes left of qualifying. Now, there has been a rule change after Daytona last week, and that was due to some major issues at Daytona they had as well. Now, one of the rules that they've come out with is they've added a fast repair. Now, normally the league has not done fast repairs before, but they have added a fast repair. Now, this is in the anticipation that drivers will be able to get back out on track a lot quicker as well. Now, they've also added a harsher penalty for anyone causing an incident in turn 1. They will automatically get a pit start for the next race. Now, if you haven't watched back Daytona, you can go back and watch it. That was in conjunction with somebody taking free wide in turn 1 at Daytona that caused a lot of carnage. We only had 5 people on the lead lap. We only had 9 finishes completely after that as well. So it was a bit chaos there as well. But don't forget, guys, if you are here for the first time, you can subscribe, turn on the bells for notification, and give the video a big old thumbs up, because that would be amazing, because we have got a lot of racing coming up for you on the JPB YouTube channel. And don't forget to check out our sponsors down in the descriptions below. The links are there, along with Sim3D. Head over to www.sim-3d.co.uk for custom battle boxes, win kits, rumble packs, rumble seat kits to go on as well, wireless keyboard mounts, and heads-up displays there as well. So you can get them all over on sim-3d.co.uk. So don't forget to share and check them out. Descriptions are down, links are down in the description below. 7.5 minutes left of qualifying here, and we're on board with Ryan O'Connor currently as well. The rule change was needed, Michael. I think that was one of the things that they brought in, wasn't it? We never had fast repairs before. Kind of Daytona made us realise that we really do need fast repairs. So that's why they brought it in.
Yeah, I think that's actually going to come in quite handy at a track like Okayama. It's not particularly a tough track, but it's a very tight track. I find it very easy to kind of, dip a tire here and there, and then all of a sudden you're into a wall. So I do think we're going to see quite a few drivers using that fast repair tonight. That being said, quite interested to see how this Porsche goes. You were kind of making a joke earlier about how many Ferraris we have on the field today. We only have 1 Porsche, we only have 2 Audis, then we have 2 Lamborghinis. The rest of the field is all going to be Ferrari. So I'm going to be very interested to see how these Audis and these Porsches do with these, short kind of twisty sections here at Okayama, especially here in this 3rd sector as we follow along here with Ryan O'Connor, who also happens to be using one of those, did you say he was using the Rumble kit provided by Sim3D? So it's going to be really interesting to see not only how well his Porsche does tonight, but how much that helps him with his immersion. Yeah, no, the Rumble kit, I get, O'Connor does go pole on a 127.573, pipped by Graham on a 129.231. There are wind kits there as well, apparently, to help with the immersion of racing. You can have the wind blowing in your face as you're driving along. Now, we were talking about this earlier on. I think if you're primarily a NASCAR driver, I wouldn't necessarily say that the wind kits are much good, right? Because you know NASCAR's better than I do. And obviously you were saying that there was no wind flow in the cab. Yeah, no, it gets really hot inside of those cars. I imagine it does the same things for these GT3 cars. They don't have any air conditioning, really. You're sealed inside there. That car's going to get hot on the interior there, too. So I imagine there's not a lot of wind flow inside of these cars. So it's going to be more for an open wheeler, but I was actually, I'm interested, you told me about this new sponsor you guys have. I kind of started going to the website here. I'm reading through it, and apparently you can kind of customize it to your button box. So if you're, say, simming an open wheeler. You could have it on full blast. It feels like you're out there on the track with no top on. So that makes a lot of sense. But you could also set it up to a button box. So if you're in a GT3 car, maybe you're getting a little too hot or something like that, you can hit your button box, throw your fan on real quick, cool yourself down. There's so many different things that you could do with that at first that I didn't think of, and now that I'm kind of reading through here, that's actually a really cool idea. I'm kind of interested in these fans now. They sounded weird at first, but definitely got me thinking here that I might have to add this to my rig at some point.
Well, there we go. If you do drive lots, you can head over, as I say, to sim-3d.co.uk. Have a look at all their buttons boxes. I ordered a button box for a friend there. It was his birthday. And so I ordered a button box that you can customize as well. So he's got a fully customed button box there for his birthday.
That's awesome.
I know. And then he bought me a true brake fitting for my brake pedal, which I have to be honest, I've had coming nearly a year, and I've still not got round to actually fitting it as of yet. So I've got a true brake kit that is still in the box, which not ideal, but there we go.
No, you got to get that set up.
I know I have to. I think I'm going to have to literally rotor in time here on my own schedule to be able to take 2 minutes out to take my brake pedal off and stuff like that, because it's not as easy on my rig, considering obviously I've got my pedals out of the casing and they're inverted on my rig, so it's a bit more fiddly. And I think I look at it and go, yeah, I'm going to do that today, and then I think I've got to pull the rig out, I've got to take the pedal off, I've got to do, and then I sit back and then I think, meh, we'll do it tomorrow. So,
Yeah, and then tomorrow comes,
Yeah.
and then you just, it's a spiral, it's a downhill spiral.
Yeah, exactly. It's rinse and repeat, shall we say. But Jay Smart is currently going purple in sector 1 and 3. Let's see how he gets on. We do have 14 cars on track here. A bit of a short field. Elliot Borg is not here. He's not been well, apparently. So Elliot Borg, get well soon, buddy. Jonathan Dickerman is not here either. Mr. Reliable, who always finishes every single race without a scratch on that Mercedes. So we are a bit short on drivers here tonight, but I'm sure we will have an absolutely amazing race as well. What is Smart going to do? Is he going to go into pole on that time? Oh, he goes second, 129.315. Slow last sector has cost him on that one. We've got Mason Sagar doing greens in sector 1 currently at the moment. I've driven Okayama in numerous amounts of cars, GT3s, open wheelers, TCRs, and it's one of them tracks that I do enjoy. Now, it's this section here that kills me a little bit, because I getting through this tight little twisty section is where I lose the most amount of time. It's a difficult section, this, isn't it, when you think about it, this section between 2 and 3.
It's definitely a complicated little sector there, but it's funny that you say that, because that's actually the sector that I feel the most comfortable with. I have a lot more issues coming into turn 6, Revolver. It's right after the hairpin, then you come into that left-hander, that 90-degree left-hander downhill. I always find it hard to be in the correct gear, whether it's second gear for this car or third gear for that car. I always find it hard to kind of get the correct RPMs, and I just always find myself a little too far out on the curbing there. So that's actually where I find the most trouble on this course.
That's exactly where I end up losing most of my time. There, and this little dash and splash bit here, and then trying to get it hooked up for the exit.
Yeah, because you got to kind of wait. It seems like it'd be such a quick apex, but you're waiting a little longer than you expect there on that. Was it Hobbs? Yeah, coming into Hobbs there. Yeah, it's uphill, so you lose a little bit of traction. It's a tough turn. It's a tough course. It's not the most complicated layout, but it definitely has quite a few quirks to it. There's quite a bit of elevation changes. It's actually got, in my opinion, a sneaky amount of elevation change. You don't really expect it, and then all of a sudden you're coming up Atwood Curve, going uphill to that long straight into the hairpin. It sneaks up on you in certain little spots, and you don't really realize it until it's too late at times.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's one of the things. Now, if you're listening to these corner names and thinking, well, we're in Japan, you know, what's happening here? Well, the corner names are quite bizarre here, to be fair, at Okayama. Now, you would expect a lot more sort of Japanese-based names, but you haven't got them. You've got Williams. You got first corner, which is called first corner. Then you go turn 2, which is Williams. Then you go through the Moss S's, down into Atwood Curve. Then the hairpin. There you go. Revolver, Piper, Redman, Hobbs, Mike Knight corner, and then last corner. So they're not traditional Japanese names that you would expect. Not that I even know what traditional Japanese names should be, but I'm just guessing there's no pattern, is there? Don't get me wrong, there's no blueprint that says you must call it this or you must call it that. But it's just a weird one now. Then there are a lot more, I suppose, English-based names than what I would normally expect.
Yeah, and when I think of corner names for Japanese tracks, I think of the R series, you know, the 130R, stuff like that, you know, Fuji, Suzuka, they both have them. So coming here, and then you just have like Mike Knight corner, like last corner, first corner. So yeah, you're right. It's very odd how they named the track corners here. I believe it came into, was it 1990 that you said the track? Yeah, 1990. So it's a later track, so that might explain some of the, you know, the more Europeanized names there. But it's quite interesting. Quite an interesting track. Kind of have a bit of a depressing history. We were kind of hinting at that earlier as well. Some of the things that went on here at the track, but. You know, 1999, the JGTC GT300 champion Shingo Tachi was killed here in a Toyota Supra. So we see Thornhill getting off there.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? The Wikipedia page for this racetrack doesn't exactly read amazingly. You know, for the first 2 paragraphs, it talks about all the accidents and incidents, and then the next paragraph it talks about all the companies that have owned it, and then the next paragraph it says about them going bust, and you're sitting there thinking, well, surely there's something a little bit more exciting that's happened at Okayama, apart from drivers hitting the wall and, you know, them going, the businesses that owns it going out of business almost. So, but anyway,
it's a big grim.
Yeah, the grid is up, guys. We've got Nathan Graham in first, Ryan O'Connor second, Jay Smart third, Joseph Carnes in fourth, Dylan Gomez fifth, Tamas Boniatti in sixth, Mason Sagar seventh, Daniel Pereira eighth, Mikhail Turkin in ninth, Alexander Amidon in 10th, Ben Barnes in 11th, Brandon Thornhill is currently in 12th place. Beyond that, we've got James Rep and Nathan Heffley. Now, James was in YouTube earlier on telling us he was slow. My instant response was, please go faster. So there we go. Who's a pick to win today? Oh, if Nathan Graham gets out of front, Rin, I'm going to say it's going to be Nathan Graham, because I think it's going to be tough to stop him in that little Audi if he gets out in front, Michael. What do you reckon?
Oh, I think the Audi is going to be a great car for this track, along with that second place car there, Ryan O'Connor in the Porsche. I think these two cars are very well suited for this track. I just find it very hard if Nathan Graham has a good start here. I find it hard to believe that he won't be able to come away with at least the podium. I think he's going to definitely own this race.
Yeah, well, I spoke to Ryan before as well. Ryan said he's going for top 5. He just wants to try and stay as clean as possible. So Ryan Graham. That's me giving him
Ryan O'Connor.
Yeah, that's me giving him love Charles together for Nathan Graham and Ryan O'Connor there. But Ryan O'Connor did say he's going to go for top 5 and just try and stay clean. We are on this last quarter pace lap here tonight. Before we go green, ready to go. There are your car brands: Audi, Porsche, Lambos, Ferraris, and a lot of Ferraris. So Nathan Graham is effectively now the pace car. Is he going to back him up? To be honest, I would have bolted already. He's got them stacked up there. A lot of them trailing. He's leaving it to the last possible moment. Is this a good idea? is it not? But we are lights out, and away we go here at Okayama. And it is Nathan Graham bolted, Ryan O'Connor in second, Jay Smart third there, trying to get through. O'Connor's gone, he's lost the back end. He's still on track, and he's still in fourth place. Amazingly held by O'Connor there. But again, Ryan, Michael, the Porsche doing Porsche things already.
Oh, yeah, especially on cold tires. I'm not sure if there was any contact there between him and Jay Smart, but yeah, that rear end of the Porsche got very light on cold tires. You got to be very careful because it wants to kill you at random times, and all of a sudden, it'll just be gone.
Exactly. As we look at Mason Sager in 7th place with his teammate Thomas Boniatti in 6th there, but it is Nathan Graham out in front by about 1.1. Jay Smart there in 2nd place. Joseph Carnes in 3rd. Ryan O'Connor, Dylan Gonaz is just about to send it up the inside, and O'Connor, unfortunately, is slipping down the order faster than me eating chocolate cake at the moment. He needs to get a grip of that Porsche, get it warmed up and stay there, as we've got Dylan Gonaz running a little bit wide, so that's given O'Connor a little bit of breathing space. Well, Gonaz again running wide round Piper corner, and he manages to make the move around. Is he going to hold this round, Thomas Boniatti, though, or is Boniatti going to try and come around the outside of Hobbs now to get that position back? But at the moment it is Gonaz in 5th. Boniatti's on the outside. This isn't, please don't do this. This is not going to be good. As no, they settle in. That's fine. So action towards the back end of the field rather than the guys up front. Michael cleared the way already about a 1.5 seconds down the road.
Yeah, Nathan Graham's really getting out there to a solid start here. As we see him coming around, we're only on lap 2. He's already got a 1.6 second lead. So he is definitely off to the races here. Really poor start by Ryan O'Connor there that we discussed. Dylan Gonaz making the mistake there that put Thomas Boniatti right on the inside of his quarter panel, but able to fight it off. But quite a bit of movement up front there, but they're starting to stretch it out already here in the first 2 laps of the race.
Yeah, definitely as well. Don't forget, we've got a 45-minute race with a pit stop. These guys will have to pit. Smart is up 1, Carnes up 1, O'Connor's down 2, Reps up 1, and Thornhill down 1 as well. Daniel Pereira is sitting currently there in 8th place for the Black Gold Racing team. So Daniel Pereira from Black Gold Racing there in 8th place at this moment in time. He's sat in this gaggle of cars that is led by Dylan Gonaz, who's up front with Thomas Boniatti, Sega, Pereira, Turkin, Amadon, and then we've got about a second gap back to Ben Barnes. 45 minutes, you know, 50% fuel they're running at. What are we looking pit stops? Round about 25-30 minutes in?
Probably sounds about right. I don't want to guess too much on these guys' pit strategies. It's a little too early for that, but I would say that does sound pretty close. One thing I do want to point out here is our top 3 in the standings right now. Elliot Borg, Joseph Carnes, Jay Smart. Elliot Borg, we discussed, is not here tonight, feeling under the weather, unable to make it to the race. Jay Smart and Joseph Carnes right there, 2nd and 3rd place. They're actually flipped on their points. Jay Smart in 2nd place is in 3rd place overall on the points. So this is going to be very interesting to see how these two fight it out. If they're willing to kind of play nicely, or if Carnes is able to kind of push up the back of Jay Smart there and kind of take this fight to him. Because that's going to be a huge difference maker as we enter race 7 of the series here.
I think that's 2. We're at race 6, by the way, because we had a break off.
We're in race 6. Next week will be 7. I'm sorry, I should have clarified that.
We just see Daniel Pereira, the battle away with Turkin. Turkin not able to get through this time around. Ben Barnes is as they are. James Rep behind him there, and Amadon in front currently down as well. Is Rep going to be looking at making his move past Barnes? He's not. So James Rep staying as he are now. Obviously James was in chat saying he is slow, he's not doing too well here. I think it's a tough, first rule of racing, don't take out your teammate. God blimey, don't do that.
That's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah, that's
gonna cause waves in your own team. That's it's not gonna play well. I do want to point out all these Ferraris that we have in the field. We only have 1 in the top 5.
We do, but Barnes is trying to make the move past Amadon into turn 1. He has got the job done. Amadon's looking at trying to cut back. Rep has gone into the inside. He's gone onto the grass a little bit. That back end stepped out on that Ferrari. Amadon's going to make the move back past Barnes as well. They're going to run 2 by 2 through the Mossets. Here we go down into Atwood Curve. And it is Ben Barnes hanging on there as well. But I got a funny feeling that this is not going to be long before Amadon sticks his nose up the inside of Barnes here. And I think it's going to be happening in the hairpin. But it is Boniatti, Sagar, Pereira. There is Sagar with Pereira behind him. Boniatti got away there. And Ben Barnes didn't come under attack, which is by Amadon, which I thought was a surprise, Michael, because I thought he was close enough to have a go.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like that. It seems like he's kind of backed off, but now he's coming under quite a bit of pressure there by Rep. Rep is really putting it on Amadon there, but Amadon's just holding on, not quite feeling too comfortable with these two teammates surrounding him. 3 if you want to count Thornhill right there. This is going to be kind of a tough fight here for Amadon to keep his position. I think it's going to be tough for him to really get his nose back up because, as we saw, he had to back off to really start defending there.
Yeah, he definitely did there. Amadon, part-time pros, and Barnes and Rep slowly driving Bayou. I think Thornhill has also joined that team because he's running a Bayou livery. So I think they've taken on Brandon Thornhill there as well as Sagar, Pereira and Turkin battling away for 7th, 8th and 9th as they drop through the S's. This is trying to straight line this section as much as possible. 3 Ferraris here. Pereira looking the strongest of the 3 at the moment. No, he's putting Sagar under quite a lot of pressure.
Yeah, Dylan Pereira is really having a strong start here, up into 8th place. He's got a lot of control right now, and it looks like he's going to be able to put a move on, but it looks like Turkin is there. He's not going away, and he's kind of playing with Dylan Pereira's head a little bit.
Yeah, he definitely is. And Michael's also creating love children as well, because we've got...
Oh, yeah, Dylan Gonez and Daniel Pereira.
So we got 2 births coming out of this GT3 race this evening of love children from 2 of the drivers, as we got Ryan O'Connor and Nathan Graham, and now we've got Dylan Gonez and Daniel Pereira there as well. So congratulations, guys. Much appreciated. I hope the birth goes well, as we decide up here that the names aren't correct. We're going to start mixing them up, but it does look like Pereira's coming under attack from Turkin on this run down into turn 1. Turkin in the blue, Pereira in the black, white and gold Ferrari, and they've still got Ben Barnes behind them. So there we go, mixing it up. 37 minutes left on the clock. Pit window within about 16-17 minutes we're expecting, so stay tuned, as it really does kind of open up this race, doesn't it, Michael, when they've got to go into the pits.
Yeah, quite a bit. And, I think we might have missed a little bit of an incident there. Brandon Thornhill fell all the way back down the order. Kind of fell off pace there a little bit. I'm not sure what happened there.
Let's have a look. He went off track.
Off track.
So,
just didn't have any traction. That car just kept going straight.
Yeah, had a bit of a snap on the entrance to the corner, and unfortunately for Thornhill, he's dropped down the order.
Definitely going to be unfortunate. We'll see if he's able to get to the back there of Nathan Heffley and try to force his way back up the field. He does have a pit stop, so maybe some strategy will come into play a little bit, but with the 45-minute race, I'm not sure that the pit stop is going to be too much. Yeah, so definitely unfortunate here for Thornhill.
Joseph Carnes just missed O'Connor by the skin of his teeth there. That was just, well, that was very close. Let's have a look, see if we can catch O'Connor's cockpit cam of that, because that would be amazing, I think. So we're on board with Ryan O'Connor. There goes
the halfway through the turn. Rear into that Ferrari just let go halfway through the turn.
Definitely on that one. But we were talking about this now. apparently, right, now I wasn't aware of this one before I decided that it would be a great idea for me to drive the 12 hours of Sebring with the guys from the LSRL. So they picked the Mercedes. So I went out the other day in the Merc at Sebring, expecting it to be this cemented block that I get used to and have been used to driving. I'm not going to lie, I felt like Bambi on ice. Now, apparently, that's because they've changed an updated tyre model for this season on the GT3s, Michael.
Yeah, I have driven the Mercedes a little bit, not too much because it's never really been a favorite of mine to begin with. Obviously, I like the Porsche, but yeah, it just feels so loose on the rear end. It just wants to step out on you and just kill you. It was very strange for me to drive. I did not feel safe at all at any point when I took the Mercedes around, and it just didn't feel comfortable. As we see, Thornhill looks like he has gotten by Nathan Heffley.
Yeah, he did there as well. Brian at Thornhill. Now, obviously, Sean Atkins is in chat. Sean's one of my teammates for this 12 hours. He said, dude, we're going to have a blast. It's not that bad. It's a bit squirrely with a heavy weight transfer. Now, if squirrely means me spinning more times than a ballerina, then that's exactly what that car does to me, Sean. I've got to get hold of it. I need to do a little bit more. It's like I need ballast in the back to keep the rear end stuck on the ground, because at the moment, it definitely wants to kill me at the most unprecedented corners that it should not want to kill me. So, you know, at the moment I do need to go out and do some more practice in that Merc. As we see Joseph Carnes coming back through the field, currently tracking Mason Sagar. Of course, Carnes went off at lap 6 on the last corner, missed Ryan O'Connor's front end by what can only be deemed as millimetres. So, you know, Ryan O'Connor got away with that one. He was talking before, I was chatting to him, and he was saying before that he just wants to complete a race where he doesn't end up getting involved in other people's incidents. To be fair, Michael, I think he's used up all his luck just on that one incident with Joseph Carnes.
Yeah, I can't believe he was able to keep it out of the front end there, and Joseph Carnes able to keep his car out of the barrier as well. There's no damage on that car, just a little wear and tear on the tires. Oh, and that's the same corner. He got out wide. He was able to keep hold of the back end this time, but it's going to cost him.
Yeah,
Dylan Pereira's going to come up the inside.
Pereira's going to try and make that move down into turn 1. Daniel Pereira. Oh, took it a Carnes. Oh, that was a dive. 10 out of 10 in the Olympics as the judge puts up their scorecards there for Mikhail Turkin, who has literally dived at Joseph Carnes at turn 1 and has made it through. Abaddon's coming to come through as well. Carnes is now, that's it, you're offline, mate. You got to get back on. I tell you what, it's not good here. He's dropped down the order at least 4 places currently for Joseph Carnes. He's not having a good one at this moment in time, but boy, oh boy, did Mikhail Turkin send it then, didn't he? Absolutely sent it.
Oh, yeah. No, that was a very, very, very brave move there. He made it work. There was a little bit of contact, but in the end, he made it work. Feel bad for Joseph Carnes, because not only was he up in the top 3, but this was a huge opportunity for him to make up some ground on Elliott Borg. This is just opening the door up for Jay Smart. It's just one thing after another here, and there's a lot of damage. That car is going to need that fast repair. There's our first victim.
Man. He's just got loose coming out of Piper's corner. I'll be surprised if I have a look back at this and he hasn't hit the grass. So let's have a look now. He's coming around the corner now. Oh, is it going to be on the curb?
Yeah.
That's not the greatest of pitches.
He got off the grass.
Yeah. On the curb, and then he went. Do you know the weirdest thing about that is, did you see his boomerang bumper then?
Yeah.
You gotta love it, haven't you?
Yeah, no, that's definitely not. That's some iRacing, but yeah, and you gotta feel bad for the kid too, because Joseph Carnes, after he made the mistake earlier, he was starting to make some moves back up the field. It looked like he was really about to start attacking and try to get past Sagar there, but unfortunately for him, he's gonna have to bring that Ferrari in. It's definitely seen some better days, but as you said, the rule change, they get one free fast repair, so it shouldn't hinder him too much. He's probably going to go a lap down here, though, I would have to say.
Well, he's not gone in. You can look at the front right there, and his bumper's now back on, so he's got an Australian bumper that keeps coming back to him every time he throws it off. So well done, Joseph, for that one. But he's, front left is badly damaged, and we're going to have a look. Well, that's not a very good front suspension picture, really, is it? And neither is that. But his front left is damaged, and he will. I'm wondering, though, if he's going to try and hang it out to the pit stops here, because it looks like that's what he's intending to do, I think, to try and get it to the pit stop phase.
I mean, that would make sense. He's not too terribly far away for that to work for him, and also he's obviously losing time here, but he's able to really keep that car pretty on the straight and narrow. It doesn't look like he's got too much to worry about as far as alignment issues. Obviously, he's going to have downforce issues, and it's going to be nowhere near as fast, but it looks like he's able to manage it for now, so that might be the best opportunity for him.
Yeah, definitely on that one.
Try to just
we talk about the physics of iRacing, right? And we've just seen kind of, well, the scenario we're talking about, aren't we, really? The bumper clearly come flying off and then reattached itself to the car.
Yeah, no, that's the damage, especially because isn't this the new damage model for the GT3 cars this season?
I believe so.
They might still be working out some of the bugs and kinks there, because yeah, you're right, that bumper was gone, and then all of a sudden it was back. So yeah, maybe it was just a magic trick and an optical illusion. The car's actually perfectly fine.
Yeah, maybe Houdini's in the back seat, bringing the bumper back again. But then again, I saw it in the SR10 the other day as well. The wing come off and then it reappeared. So I'm not entirely sure. Look, at the end of the day, it is the simulator that we drive and love so much. But there's bugs in everything.
It's not perfect, but no. It's a darn good sim. I love it to death.
I mean, that's the thing. We talk about games, right? Oh, hold on, before you pin in there, it's not a game. I've not finished yet. Don't even go there. So
that wasn't me.
No, I know, but I'm quick on the defense before somebody goes, it's not a game. I'm like, yes, I know, it's a simulator. But we talk about simulators. Excuse me. We talk about games. We talk of games like Destiny and other things like that, Path of Exile and whatever other games that we all love and play. Fortnite, we've all got them. Call of Duty. Don't you find, though, as gamers or drivers, that we're very good at saying what's wrong with the simulator? We're very good at saying, and to be fair, I'm probably the guilty one here as well, because I do it a lot with this sim, and how just increasingly frustrated I'm getting at seeing nothing about rain, and it's driving me crazy. But that's a different conversation altogether. But we're very good at saying what's wrong with it, aren't we? Do you think, though, as drivers and as gamers, we're overcritical of the game we play? Because technically, we all love the sim, we all love the games that we play outside of the sim. But yet, we're very good at saying what's wrong with it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you never know what you got until it's gone. So if iRacing was to shut down tomorrow, it would tear people's hearts apart, because it is such a wonderful thing. Maybe there are some technical issues with the game. There's bugs. There's going to be like bugs for everything. That's just a common thing. That's just what we have to deal with technology. But the immersion factor that iRacing and these sims have, but in particular the quality of racing that iRacing presents, and the ability to have nose-to-nose battles with people that you've never met before and will never meet again, or to have like these die-hard league that are, there's so many things that we take for granted, and it's so easy to say, oh man, where's rain? Oh, why is the damage not perfect? Oh, why is this, that, and the other? It's like you said, so easy to pick apart the game, but in reality, it's awesome. It's the best thing, Like, I can't afford to go out and buy a Porsche, but I can slowly build a rig over time and enjoy racing Sure, it's not quite the same thing, but it's, I mean, my adrenaline gets pumping when I'm on track, when I'm in a tight battle. You know, you feel it after, 2, 3, 4 hours for a long-term stint. Like, it's not the same, but it's its own thing, and it's definitely relevant, and it's worthwhile. And yeah, sure, there's so many little things you can pick apart about it, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's just so enjoyable.
I mean, that was the thing, right? For the first time yesterday, and I'm going to say for the first time yesterday in a very long while. In fact, I haven't driven that long, right, that I looked at my results page yesterday after the one I did yesterday, and my result page was empty for the rest of the month. Literally, I had nothing. I had literally that one drive on there that I did yesterday, and I did the GR86s at Road America. And I gotta be honest, I absolutely loved it. Now, being that I don't get out and track much, guys, right, and you fully have to understand that, as we see Pereira looking at trying to make this move past Sagar is not getting by. I did have to have the cheeky little driver's line on, right? Now, that's not because I'm rubbish, it's because I really don't get time to practice. And I actually fully enjoyed it. Now, whether or not I would look at making time in my busy day to go back and drive again, because obviously I'm driving tomorrow night in that little TCR league I'm in at the moment as well. But I think overall, as an experience, it was actually quite a decent experience in officials yesterday. We know that officials can be an absolute nightmare, right? You can get some right crash bang Harrys. Yeah, you can, it's crash bang Harrys all over the place, or you get the people that drive, and lucky enough, touch wood, in Road America yesterday, I actually got people that could drive here. So, but let us know in chat what you think, and let us know in the comments down below if you are watching it on after the race as well, about the whole situation, about games that we love and games that we criticise as well. What would you like to see changed within iRacing? Would you like to see more clarity, more openness from the devs about the actual sim itself, and then obviously please don't have a go at me where I didn't call it a game, I was talking in general. So please don't put that down in the comments below, because I'll probably wake up to reading that, as we just see Sagar go in deep. He went in well deep there. That's going to open a door for Pereira on this run up the hill. I think from Pereira's point of view, I'd want to be slotted in there as best that you can. Sagar's off. He's gone to the other side. Pereira didn't follow him. Is Pereira looking at blocking Turkin here? And I don't think this is going to change the order, and I think this is going to be Pereira sticking behind Sagar again through this tricky intersection. Do you think Pereira should have stayed behind Sagar there?
Yeah, but that was a real opportunity there. Sagar got way far off the corner there. That's where I have the most issues, and it looks like this is really going to open the door for Pereira.
Sagar's gone.
Oh, and the Audi's gone too. Amadon in the background.
Yeah, Amadon and Pereira within the same corner. James Rep's in the pits. What has happened to him? Oh, Rep on the last corner. He's going to bolt to the car to the right for no apparent reason other than it can. And I want to have a look at this one as well with Jay Smart. Looks like Smart's also been adventuring off circuit coming into the hairpin. He didn't lose. He's dropped behind Ryan O'Connor now. So Smart is now in third place. Just takes a little pirouette there. And Alexander Amadon is the last replay I want to look at as he is going around Redman. As we were focusing on the battle up front, Amadon, I think, just overcooks it going in. Yep.
Did the exact same thing that Sagar did. Mason Sagar and Alexander Amadon, they both just kind of overcooked it there, and like you said, just lost the rear end.
Right. So that's what we're talking about, Michael, right? For no apparent reason.
Yeah, I mean, you see that. I mean, I'm used to it because it happens in the Porsche all the time, but yeah, it's very interesting. Sometimes you can just kind of lose it, and it just seems like there's no apparent reason. But I mean, unless we're there, it could have been an early downshift that kind of froze it up. There could have been many different things that happened there. But the Ferrari is a very stable, platform. I always find the Ferrari to be, I mean, it's the first GT3 that you can really race in the sim. is it the Class D?
Yeah,
Class D license that you need for the Ferrari. So it's a very friendly car to learn. So to see it kind of losing its rear end like that, I wonder if if there was driver error, or if maybe it was a compression downshift. Something didn't like a downshift or something. I'm not exactly sure what happened there.
Yeah. It happens to me in cars as well, where just randomly Sagar is out of shape. That's allowed Turkin through. Unfortunately for Sagar, now running deep into Redman corner, has now cost him here as Pereira's gone through and Mikhail Turkin also has gone through, and it is job done for them too as they get past Sagar. It's now up to Sagar to try and catch up. Ryan O'Connor is coming under pressure from Smart. Can O'Connor hold on here as well as we go into the last 20 minutes of this race at Okayama, here with myself, James Parfitt, and Michael David in the booth once more here. What has Connor got to do? Smart's obviously quick. He was up front. He was opening up a nice little meaty gap over O'Connor. And then that happens to him for what seemed like no apparent reason for a Lambo going into the hairpin. How's O'Connor going to defend this, or is he going to defend it?
Well, you mentioned it earlier. He's just looking to stay out of trouble, stay out of other people's business, finish in the top 5. Right now he's got a great opportunity here to finish on a podium. Whether he wants to fight for that second spot or not, that's really up to him. But, right now he's just got to kind of keep his head on his shoulders. Don't overthink it here. Just be gentle with that Porsche. It's going to want to kill you if you try to push too hard. So this track suits it very well, but there's no real reason. You're already accomplishing a majority of your goals right now. There's no real reason to force it right now. So just keep a cool head, keep your head on your shoulders, and if Jay Smart really starts playing some mind games and putting his nose down around, making you overthink things, just don't try to defend too hard. You have too much to lose.
But he's got to give it a go, right? You don't want to just roll.
Sure.
You don't want to just
roll over.
No,
I'm not saying. I'm just saying that he just needs to, run his race, not worry too much about Jay Smart. And if Jay Smart starts, peeking a nose, I wouldn't defend too hard, because he's already, we've got 13 seconds up the road to Nathan Graham. We haven't even talked about Nathan Graham since the beginning of the race. Like we said at the beginning of the race, if he gets a good start, he's going to be away. He's going to be gone. Nathan Graham and that Audi is just a perfect combination tonight. But Ryan O'Connor and Jay Smart here having a good battle. But if you're Ryan O'Connor, you're up in the top 3. Do you really want to risk that much, coming into an incident? You're trying to avoid incidents. So this could be, just a solid confidence booster for him tonight. Just to, have a solid pace. Don't push it too hard, and, just keep that rear end planted firmly instead of squirrely.
but he's in a Porsche, right? I'm not gonna.
I mean, that's what I mean by that, though. Is you can not necessarily baby the Porsche, but you can kind of be very gentle with it at times, just basically without pushing too hard. It's easy to overdrive the Porsche. Everybody knows that. It's so easy to overdrive the Porsche. But you can kind of like sit back and really get into a rhythm with them. Yeah, you're gonna have a random snap here and there, but if you're ready for it, it's a great racing platform. Like there's a reason why so many people love to drive the Porsche. It's because it is a great car. It handles so well. It's so fun to drive. We see James Rep has had a bit of an incident. It looks like he's jumped back into the pits
again. I don't think Rep's having a good time this evening. Here, let's have a look and see what he's been up to.
Oh,
that's the end.
Quite a few.
Oh, and Amadon.
Yeah, there was quite a bit going on there.
I wonder if Rep's already got in the front, though, mind you.
Oh, yeah, he's gone around. And then, no contact between the two of them. Rep just lost it, and then Amadon kind of was paying a little too much attention to him and lost the rear end.
A little bit bizarre, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it though. You see somebody kind of lose it in front of you, you lose a little focus trying to avoid and lose the rear end coming out of the end of the turn, especially if that's, you know, you don't have a ton of grip there. You're going uphill. So the car is going to kind of want to, the rear end's going to want to get away from you. You're pushing and it just kind of wants to, you know, kind of crab walk almost in that situation.
Yeah, but there we are. Nathan Graham is in the pits. Jay Smart is in the pits. This is Ryan O'Connor. He's actually going to take the lead of this race. If he gets out, he does there as well. Conway, I'm done. Can't keep the tyres on this car for some reason. Apparently the Ferrari has a bug that you either have full ABS or none. And I'm thinking I had none because my front kept locking up. So that's obviously James Rett there as well. That's Amadon in front of O'Connor currently at the moment. XXJE001. This guy, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know who he's talking about there, whether it's you or
It's me. It's probably me. I don't know.
I don't know. Who are you talking about, XXJ? Tell us some more information. As Jay Smart is in and out of the pits. Boniati's in, Turkin's in, Sagar's in, Carnes is in. I think Brandon Thornhill is, I'm not sure, going in? Trying to go in? Going in. There we go. What about Ben Barnes? Are you going to be heading in as well? They all seem to be coming around. Maybe O'Connor's done a great job of maintaining fuel here. Gonaz didn't go in either, so he's out currently in front. Ben Barnes did not go in. Heffley did not go in either. Amadon's been in, well, once already. So hopefully he's fueled and done to the end. But it is currently O'Connor leading the way. Can he have a good pit entry? Can he stay in front of, well, I don't really know where the next one's going to be. It's going to be Jay Smart about 43 seconds down the road here. And we'll keep an eye on him and see where he comes out in conjunction. I think Gonaz is in as well. I think Graham's going to go through there. Graham's come out in front.
Graham had a huge, he had a huge gap there.
Yeah, and he's come out in front of Pereira after his pit stop. So that's the interesting thing. Is Pereira going to go in? No, Pereira's not going in either. There is Smart. Where is O'Connor in conjunction to that? He's just coming out. Where's Smart? This is going to be turn one. It's going to be turn one. Can O'Connor keep it?
Have it.
Oh, Jay Smart.
Oh.
Smart's got it deep. This is the run out of the pits for Smart and O'Connor. This is the battle for second place. Currently on your screen at the moment. O'Connor in the green. Smart in the... Oh, I didn't do that right, did I? A luminous green, I suppose. You would say. Oh, God.
I would say more of a yellow.
Would you say yellow?
I'd say yellow. I mean, it's definitely got some of that lime green there, but I would say more of a yellow, whereas the Porsche is more of like a green teal.
I think from O'Connor's point of view there, I'm a little bit miffed that he went on the outside there, considering Smart had left the door wide open for him to stick his nose up. But O'Connor's going to run it round the outside of the hairpin. They're going to be too wide. O'Connor's not going to have the inside for the next corner, which I feel was a bit of a mistake there. I think Smart gave him the door to have the inside, didn't he? And he went the wrong side. I think he would have been a bit more forceful trying to get up the inside than trying to go round the outside there. But hey, as we say, we're not in the car. So this is O'Connor and Smart here, battle for second. Boniati is also looking at having a place over Turkin. These guys are battling away, running down into Piper Corner, which is now the next one on the left there as well. Joseph Carnes back out on track, battling away with Mason Sagar, his Ferrari. Looks all shiny and new now, Michael. That's good, isn't it?
Oh, that looks way better than it did before. So hopefully with Carnes is able to kind of take the battle right back to Sagar. This is where he was before he had that second incident. Obviously, the first incident took him out of the podium position. The second incident put him into the wall and damaged his car. He was really starting to gain here on Sagar, so it's going to be interesting to see this fight actually unfold.
Let's see what happens with Carnes and Sagar here. Battle for 9th and 10th. Ben Barnes is in the pits. Pereira is out of the pits. He's lost a position to Turkin. He's lost a position to Boniati, but he's still coming out here. Let's say Pereira.
Oh, there's a car in the back there.
That is
Pereira just crashed.
Oh, and Turkin.
What happened?
I don't know. Let's have a look.
A little bit of damage to the front of Turkin there.
So Pereira's coming out of the pits here. There's... Sheesh. Where you going with that one?
I don't know, man. Pereira's coming out of the pits. Turkin turned into him. See, riding along here. You can see him coming out of the pits. You know he's there. And then you're just following along the racing line, and then all of a sudden he's there. So I'm not sure. What's your opinion on that one?
Well, the problem is, I don't really... The thing is, when people ask me my opinion, they don't necessarily like it, right? Now, as I found out, that they don't always like what we have to say up here in the booth, because we sometimes call it how we see it and with the different camera angles and stuff like that. Now, one of the things I am going to say is, if I'm driving and I see a car coming out the pits that's relatively up to speed by the time he's come out, because don't forget, the line before the pits is quite far back, so they can get on the gas a little bit more earlier, and that run would have given Pereira, probably about the same amount of speed as Turkin going into that turn one, right? So I would then leave room on that outside, because I know he's going to be there. Now my spotter at that point is going to be screaming at me, telling me he's there, right? It's going to be like, car on the right, car right, leave room, car room, stay where you are, and all the other things. Generally in between the spotter swearing at me because I'm not going fast enough. But I would have left room. So from my point of view, I would put it on Turkin. But as I say, our opinions don't always go down well. Sometimes goes down like vinegar, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I'd have to mainly agree with you. I think Turkin definitely should have left room on the inside there. He knew the car was there. He saw the car. You saw him exiting pit lane. You got your spotter yelling at you. He had to know the car was there, and then to turn in on him. I'm not necessarily going to say that it was his fault, but I definitely think that it was not quite a racing incident.
Okay, well, I'm not being rude there, but he was well alongside him.
Yeah.
So, unless you haven't got a spotter on, or if you haven't got something on, you may need to do something, but he was well alongside at that point in time.
Yeah, no, he knew the car was there, so... he should have at the very least given up a little bit of room on the inside there, but
I agree.
One thing I will say is I'm a little surprised Carnes hasn't made a move past Sagar yet. He was really catching him. I'll take the blame for that one.
Is that why though? Because Carnes is pushing too hard. We've had Ben Barnes also go and plummet into the pit wall or into the wall, but it looks like he's jumped straight back to the pits as Barnes. So poor old Ben Barnes here on lap 24. Looks like he is back in the pits. 6.5 minutes remaining. Let's just have a quick look to see what he's been up to.
Yeah, the rear end of that just snapped. So, yeah, and James Reps was talking about it earlier. This Ferrari really seems like the rear end is just
loose,
not planted at all. Yeah, just completely loose.
It's like me driving a Mercedes the other day, to be fair.
It's like me just driving in general.
Well, I'm a bit better in my 7-seater C-Max, but then again, that's built like a house brick. You know what I mean? I can't get that thing to spin no matter what. So, but yeah, my C-Max is planted, but this clearly... I think this is the thing now. There's a lot going on within the GT3 world within iRacing, right? The tyre model, the damage model, me jumping in a Mercedes that I drove pretty much last season when I had time, and it was planted, to now me feeling like if I press the throttle, I'm going to go round. There's just nothing there. Have they gone too far one way? Because you can't seem to do what you could do with a GT3 that you can't do now.
Well, I'll throw this back at you. You brought up a pretty good point earlier. are we criticizing the game too much? Therefore, the devs are trying to do too much at one time. Things are getting a little complicated as we see another snap.
That's what we mean, for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, he barely was on the gas. Like, and yeah, it's... Oof, see, that's just frustration.
Yeah, to drive it straight into the wall is just annoyance from Joseph now. You know, to be fair, I'd be annoyed. Because this is... I know Okayama's slippery, but this is crazy.
Yeah, these generally aren't the spots that you really... At least, I don't really feel like Atwood is that hard of a curve, especially when you're getting to the top of the hill there, you have plenty of... I mean, the grip falls off a little bit, but you should have plenty of grip here because it's a little bit of a... I don't see that being driver error. I see there's something going on with these Ferraris. Like James was saying, you know, we've seen it with Ben Barnes, we've seen it with Joseph Carnes multiple times. We've seen multiple... Sagar's lost the back end of his Ferrari. You know, there's something going on here.
Yeah. Well, they're talking about the setups in YouTube chat there as well. James Rep, then the tyres overheated and it was like driving on ice. But can it really be that? Like, I get that we want to make it real, and I understand that. But given a car that just can't grip at certain times of the day where they really should do, just seems a little bit go back the other way. You've gone a little bit over on it. You know, is this really real life GT3s? Is that what we're watching? You know, I might as well watch Torv Lundin at the Olympics. They've gone round and spun and slid that much. You know what I mean? It's just, what are we watching here with this model? Has it gone too far the other way on this GT3s that are now leading to this incidents-packed race that we're seeing? Because he can't barely turn the car there. Sagar's got full lot the opposite way and the car's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you here. There seems to be a bit of a disconnect here. These are GT3 cars. I mean, obviously they're not the downforce monsters that a single-seater is going to provide, but like, these cars should be handling way better than they are. These... It's not like it's a Cadillac boat from 1970s. Like, these are GT3 cars. These are top of the line race cars. You know, like, sure, they're based off production models, but they're top of the line race cars. They're basically supercars. Like, there's no reason for them these handling characteristics to be you know, nipping them as badly as they are right now with these Ferraris. I mean, maybe some of it does have to do with the setup, like these guys are talking about in the chat. But I mean, there's too many cars that are just doing the exact same thing.
Ferrari.
Yeah, they're all Ferraris. I mean, we've seen a little bit of it from the Amadon and the Audi, but I mean, as far as I'm aware, we haven't seen any of it from Nathan Graham. We haven't seen any of it from Ryan O'Connor, who's in a Porsche, which is a very rear-end squirrely car.
So, are we looking at some driver error over setup error? Are we looking at something, you know, because Okayama's traditionally renowned for being slippery anyway, you know, it's not a grip fest, is it? But this just seems crazy.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm a little surprised that we've seen the amount of just whoopsie incidents tonight. You know, we haven't seen a lot of, you know, drivers running into each other. We've seen a little bit of contact here and there, but it's been a pretty clean race. It's just been these odd loss of tractions, like moments of loss of traction. It just, like, yeah, Okayama, it's a slippery track, but I mean, these guys know what they're doing. These cars are, yeah, sure, there might be a setup issue, but these cars are probably set up pretty well. I'm a little surprised.
Yeah, we have just gone on to the final lap with Nathan Graham as he catches up to lap Alexander Amadon here as well, his teammate. Well, there we go. Ryan is in YouTube chat. I'd love to join the series, but this is not the first stream of video I've heard talking about the poop recent update to the cars.
And then that's
That
Ben
sums it up,
Carnes.
doesn't it?
Ben Barnes. Yeah, the damn red coat there is Ben Barnes here. He's saying he can't get the grips here with the weight shift so rapidly. So yeah, there's quite a lot going on here. And back to your point from earlier, like, are we complaining too much? Are we asking too much of the devs? Is this in some way or another our fault? I don't want to call ourselves.
I didn't see one post about a GT3 tyre model. I've seen thousands about rain, but I have not seen one post about a GT3 tyre model needs updating.
Yeah.
Reddit,
Fair enough.
forum, I didn't see anything about it. But it's made the difference, and Nathan Graham is going to come across the line and take your race victory here. We haven't seen much of Nathan. He's just gone about his business. He's leading the way by 16.7 seconds. Nathan Graham there comes across the line and takes a victory here in round 6 of the LSRL GT3 live from Okayama. And it looks like Smart is going to come across in second place. And Mr. O'Connor, can you believe it, has come across in third place after saying he wanted to keep it clean, and he has done just that. Comes across the line in third there as well. Dylan Gonaz in fourth. Tamas Boniadi hopefully in fifth, but we're not at the end of the race. Graham is lucky I spun, I think. I could have had him. Really? Really? Okay. I'll give you props for your confidence there on that one. ACC in the rain wasn't as loose as this car was tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem because that's saying something.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be much of a fight from any of these Ferraris tonight.
Pereira coming across the line in sixth place. Great job from him. Turkin coming across the line in seventh. And Sagar in eighth. Of course, got Carnes 3 laps down. Barnes. Whoa! Mason Sagar and Mikhail Turkin. I'm hoping they're friends here because that was a little bit of a rapid field incident. So let's bring you up the final results here. Michael, why don't you go for it?
Yep, we're going to go ahead and talk about Nathan Graham for the first time, it seems like in forever. He takes the win, 16 seconds up there. 17 seconds up there. So great race from Nathan Graham. Jay Smart coming through in second place. Going to be huge for him in the points, especially since Elliot Borg isn't here tonight and Joseph Carnes finished way down the order. Ryan O'Connor coming through, finishing out your podium. We got Dylan Gonas in fourth place. Thomas Boniati in fifth place. Daniel Pereira in sixth place. Mikhail Turkin in seventh place. Mason Sagar in eighth. Alexander Amadon in ninth place. Nathan Heffley in 10th place. Brandon Thornhill coming through in 11th place. Joseph Carnes, like I said, down the order in 12th place. Ben Barnes in 13th. And James Rupp coming up in 14th.
There we go. As the boys are on the grid, taking photos of the cars. There they are. Not sure why Jay Smart is pointing inwards. And they're not.
It's gotta be different, man.
Yeah, man. I understand. I get it. It's all good. You know what I mean? There he is. Just chilling out, going the other way. You know. But we'll get the interviews underway here, guys, as well. And I think today we're gonna start off with going in the first place man coming into the booth first. So it is Nathan Graham, your victor here this evening. Nathan, how are you, sir? Sorry to interrupt your conversation there. Unfortunately, we can't give you a warning that we're going to bring you in. We'll just drop you in. Okay, so you've gone out for a Sunday. You've picked out your Audi and you've just taken it for a drive around Japan, pretty much.
That's right. Yeah, it was a fairly easy race for you today.
Yeah, you know, we didn't see you much. I'm not going to lie, because 17 seconds down the road, there you missed some of the amazing action behind you. One of the things I want to pick up on, why I've got you in the booth, and you drive a GT3 and you're in an Audi. You know, we've had mentions of damage models, you've tyre models, and everything here tonight. How was the Audi here at Okayama?
I thought it ran well. I think everyone struggled with tires tonight. I did too. I actually took tires when I pit just because I had the a bit of a gap on second place, so I thought might as well just take some tires to be safe because I was losing about a second per lap towards the end of my first stint to my fastest lap just with tires falling off.
Yeah, it seems to be a tough one. You know, I suppose from your point of view, Nathan, this is going to give you a great boost in the championship. You know, you're currently sitting in 4th place. Of course, Elliot's not here tonight. You've just gained 15 points, plus the fastest lap, which is an extra one, plus an extra one for finishing. So technically, you're on a full house of 17. So that moves you above Elliot Borg there as well. Joseph Kahn's obviously finishing down the order as well. How do you stay concentrated? You've got 17 seconds. Like, how do you just not think about what I'm going to have for dinner or what shopping I've got to get in Walmart or something? You know, how do you keep your concentration?
So, yeah, that was something that I probably struggled with more when I first started sim racing. I think just the more you race, the more you're able to just focus in on, like, your brain can wander when it needs to wander for, you know, the straights and stuff. And then you kind of get good at just zoning back in for every turn. But it's definitely harder when you don't have people around you to stay locked in the whole time.
Yeah, definitely on that one, mate. But look, you know, you've absolutely killed it here tonight. You're 17 seconds. You've boosted your championship hopes as well going into Phillip Island next week. Gotta love Phillip Island, right? Do you love Phillip Island?
Oh, I love Phillip Island, yes. I think it's one of the best tracks.
Awesome stuff. Well, Nathan, thank you so much for joining me in the booth. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, teammate Amanon. He didn't get to practice much here. Yeah, he didn't get much practice in, so I think he was kind of learning as he was driving, but him and then the wife let me do it, so.
Well, awesome stuff. Thank you so much there, Nathan, for joining me. And I look forward to hopefully, possibly, maybe having a chat with you next week in Phillip Island.
Let's hope so. Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Man. Right, let's bring in second place man, Jay Smart. He started in 3rd. He was up 1 position into 2nd in that Lamborghini, and I'm not even sure what is going on with my screen currently at this moment in time. But Jay, welcome into the booth. How are you, bud?
Not bad, not bad. Happy with the result, but wasn't necessarily my most enjoyable race.
Okay. Why wasn't it your most enjoyable race, bud?
I just struggled with the car the whole weekend through practice and qualifying the race, and I never really felt like I connected with it. So I'm happy with the result. Honestly, it's much better than I thought I can get, and I'm also mostly happy just to have finished the race at all, because I don't know if you caught the one spin that I had, but I was fighting against that basically the whole race. Really just fought my way through that one, I gotta say.
Yeah, I think it's been tough for everybody tonight with tyres, right? Nathan said that he took tyres at the beginning on his pit stop because he was really struggling as well. You know, it just, I don't know. We were talking about it up here in the booth. There was so many issues with the Ferraris. Like, they just seemed like they were on a different world, not even on the same racetrack. They were doing, you know, they were in the Olympics doing ice skating or something. It was horrendous.
Yeah, I noticed too. I think because the track is so varied, the different cars handled them really differently. So like when I spun and Ryan got in front of me, I couldn't get past him because through sector 1 and 2, I think he had a lot of exit speed and he could brake deeper. But then through maybe the middle sector, wherever the tight one is with the sequential corners, I had so much more speed than him. I think my car just had more speed than the Porsche in that sector, but I couldn't get by. It's too tight. So I knew I had to get earlier than him and undercut him. And luckily that worked. But yeah, I think all the cars just handled a different section or a different corner of this track better than others. And there's probably not a great track for any one car, but yeah, we made it. So.
Was it closer than you expected though, coming out the pits? Because Ryan O'Connor was right there, wasn't he?
Yeah, I couldn't really see him on the relative, so I thought at first when I didn't hear my crew chief say anything, or I didn't, I couldn't see over the wall, I thought maybe I'd gotten a bigger gap. But then when he came out, honestly, before I got past the start-finish line. I kind of expected him to be right there, and so then I thought he wasn't, and then I was surprised that he had come out there, and I knew I had to hold the position because if I got behind him again, there was no way I was going to be able to pass him. I mean, that Porsche is just so fast into and out of the corners, and the Lambo might hold a little bit more mid-corner speed, but it's really difficult to get past those Porsches when you're behind them. And Ryan was doing a good job too of covering the entry. So yeah, I think that was probably the moment that made it.
Awesome stuff, Jay. Well, look, onwards and upwards. Next week at Phillip Island, it's done you a great job in the championship as well. You and Nathan Graham probably both moved up positions ahead of Elliot Borg and Joseph Carnes after Elliot obviously being sick and Joseph just having a race that he really wishes he never has again, I've got to be honest. But Jay, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth this evening?
Yeah, as always, league owners, broadcasters, and admins. You guys and everyone in the league does such a good job of running these. And then, Dylan Elliott, I think it's a shame that Elliott couldn't be here, but he still helped us out a bit with setups and some tips on the track. And then Dylan and I put in some work to try to find some speed. So thank you to both of them, and congrats to Nathan and Ryan on the win in the podium.
Awesome stuff, mate. Well, thank you, Jay, for joining me, and I'll see you next week at Phillip Island.
Yep, let's hope we see each other.
Yeah, take care, buddy.
You too.
Right, let's bring in third place man, Mr. Ryan O'Connor, the man who said to me in separate conversation before we started that he wants to finish at least in the top 5. He's gone 2 places better. He's finished in the top 3. It is a bronze medal. It is a podium. He can squirt champagne everywhere as much as he wants to, just preferably not over his sim because that would be horrendous. But Ryan O'Connor, welcome into the booth, buddy. How are you?
Hey, doing well. Thanks, James. And good seeing you again there, Michael.
Yeah, good to see you. Congratulations on your win tonight. How was that Porsche feeling tonight?
It felt good. The chase with Jay, though, just trying to keep up with him. I overdid the tires, so at some point I just conceded defeat in lieu of spinning. So.
Did you take tires?
Yeah, I mean, Porsche felt great. No, I did not take tires. I know Nathan did.
Nathan did, yeah, but then again, he had, he could have got out, had a cup of tea, got some lunch at McDonald's, and then come back and jumped in the car and carried on. To be fair, he was flying tonight in that Audi, wasn't he? Did you sit back and think at any point you can even get remotely near Nathan or Jay?
Yeah, I mean, Jay, it seemed like, he, and we were kind of talking in the waiting room here, he couldn't put a consistent lap together on this track. I mean, obviously he was really fast. So I was actually watching the relative kind of bounce down and bounce up, as I was chasing Jay the whole time. But after my pit stop, and then we went nose to nose. I don't know if you saw that. If you caught that on the broadcast, I was pushing, and I burned up my tires, and I couldn't do a thing. I mean, Jay's just Jay's very fast. He's faster than I am. So hey, look, to be chasing him down is kind of a good thing in its own right.
Yeah, I will say, though, if you do watch the broadcast back, I will apologise. Basically, when you come out of the pits and you went through the S's and then you went through Atwood and then you went up the straight, I did comment on the fact that I believe you went outside when there was gaps on the inside. Do you think that could have been different if you took that inside line?
Yeah, I mean, he really wasn't letting me. His defense is immediate, and it's really quick, and it's very clear what he's doing. So yeah, as far as when he sets up his car for defense in that fat Lambo, I mean, it's tough around a track like this. So yeah, I wanted the inside a couple times, I really did, but there's not a whole lot you can do, when somebody's just parked on the inside there.
Yeah, well, yeah. All right, I'll leave it to. I'll leave that one because you know me. Being in English, I could argue for as long as I wanted to that there was a gap there, but we won't talk about that. Just watch it back and let me know what you think. But overall,
also that Lambo has a lot more exit corner speed than this car does, than the Porsche does. That's just a known fact. So it's as soon as you think you got him a little bit on an early apex exit, no, he takes it away.
Yeah, I know, but you know me, I'm just up here in the booth, and I, to put my opinions in and expecting the DMs in the morning, to be fair. But anyway, look, buddy, overall was it was a great evening of racing. You finished your third place. I know there was a lot of issues for a lot of drivers. It's tyre model and Okayama don't seem to go together well. But going forward into Phillip Island, there's going to be another great race there as well. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go out the booth this evening?
Yeah, this time around, you guys. Thanks for putting on a great broadcast. I always watch after I race, and yeah, I mean, you guys do an awesome job.
Awesome stuff there as well. Well, thank you so much, Ryan O'Connor, for joining me. And I look forward to hopefully maybe having a chat with you again in Phillip Island next week. Let's hope so. I've never driven the track before, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, get on that one, mate. Get on that one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. But cheers, Ryan.
Put some time in.
Yeah, put some time in, bud. But thank you for joining me, mate, and I'll try and catch up with you next week. All right, take care, you too. Take care, man. Right, so there we have it, guys, there as well. I'm sorry if you are staring at a black screen. You did kind of see what happened there to my screen. It kind of just went red and black and then completely killed me and kicked me out of the session. So I do deeply apologise for that one as well. As I say, it's been myself, James Parfitt, and Michael David into the booth. Let's bring Michael in for his closing words here this evening. What do you think, Michael?
I mean, I feel kind of bad. We didn't talk about Nathan Graham all night long. I was making this big deal about Joseph Carnes and Jay Smart and their battle for second and third place there with Elliot Borg not being there. And lo and behold, yeah, I didn't even look at the fourth place, right behind. Yeah, so Nathan Graham, great race, great evening. Lucky to take advantage of Elliot Borg being out. But, I mean, absolutely phenomenal race.
Yeah, absolutely amazing there, guys, as well. Thank you so much to everybody who's joined me in chat as well. Sean Atkins, good race, fellas. Great broadcast, JP. Well, thank you so much for that as well. Rin, now, I want to say it's Rhine, or is it Rin? I feel like I might be Rhine because it's R-Y-N-E, but Ryan Tiller as well. Good race, good broadcast. Love seeing it. Thank you so much for that way as well. James Rep, Ben Barnes, as always, and Hydra as well. Thank you so much for joining me. XXJE001. Thank you so much again as well. But that is it, guys. That rounds out tonight's broadcast. What we've got coming up for you? Well, we've got an action-packed week here on the JPB YouTube channel. We have got the UK Sim Racers on Tuesday live from Sebring. So come along for that one. That's at 7:45. Then we've got the BSC from Sonoma there. NASCAR's on a road track. It's like having PB and Marmite. It doesn't go together. Then we got the Simability Ovals on Wednesday here as well. They're from Lanya National Speedway and the LSRL F1 from Magny-Cours. That should be an eventful one as well. But that takes us up to Thursday. And then after that, we've got another 6 races on board there as well. So get yourselves subscribed, turn on the bells, give the video a big thumbs up. That would be amazing. Don't forget, let us know down in the comment section below if you are watching it back how you feel about the damage model or tyre model here on the GT3s, and see if you would make improvements on them itself. But for now, guys, from myself and Michael David, thank you so much for joining me. And as always, take care, have a great week, and you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.